Today, what I want to talk about is realistically, when we talk about safety, there are so many aspects of safety. But for the international students, recently what we noticed was there were one too many scams going on. And scams have been all sorts of fashion. Um, for example, with some Indian students, they have those that would say that uh, at the immigration or IRD, there is some problem with you. You need to pay $2,000 in order for us to clear this for you because we've hired a lawyer for you. So therefore, if you pay this $2,000, then you don't need to go to court. So most international students get very frightened, and some have actually paid the $2,000, but they were asked to go to Western Union to pay that money, or another institute. So these are the things that people need to be noticed for. The other one is, all right, so for the Chinese students, recently there are two scams. One is people are pretending that they are calling from DHL and say that there is a parcel with the consulate, and therefore we noticed that your credit card has been used and it is related to a criminal activity. So of course the student get worried and said, no, I've never used this before. And this person will say, well, we've got all this evidence with us. So they will have your name and even your card number and also. But one thing, some of them will be saying, I just want to verify if this is you. Can you give me your name? Can you give me your card number? And people, some of the students really thought, oh, okay, I'm just verifying that, yep, this is me, but possibly you've got the wrong number. Maybe it's not me. So they want to verify it, but when they actually verify it, they are actually giving the information to the caller. Then now this caller said, well, that's you. So we are very sure it's you who is engaged with a criminal activity. But what we can do now is we can clear it for you. We will put you online with someone in China. So, and for us to do it, it's free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. So of course, everybody, doesn't matter whether it's a student or a resident in New Zealand, will want to clear it. So they say, okay, so they are put through, and this time it's really a China's number. And now they are going to do more talking with you and make you pay some money to them to clear that. That's one. Another one is the same scenario, but now they are saying, we want to catch somebody who is a criminal in this scam, in this money laundering scam. But you need to help us, since you said you are not involved, but you need to help us. So this student would say, how do I help you? Then they will say, all right, what I want you to do is to tie yourself up, pretend that you've been kidnapped, and then don't use your phone for 2 days, and then we will try and catch this guy, so you're helping us. So the student did exactly what the person told. And then don't use the phone. Now, then this scammers will call the parents and say, your child has been kidnapped, because now they got a video made by the student. So the parent, of course, will try to call the child, but the child has been told, do not use that phone. So for 2 days, they can't get hold. So what they'll do is, if they fall prey to that scam, they will pay the money. But luckily, many parents are very clever nowadays. So they will call the consulate in New Zealand to verify whether is there such a thing. And the consulate has been contacting us, and we'll go knocking on doors to find. Now, the thing about international students understanding the scam is, if you willingly, if we investigate and we find that you willingly engage in this fake kidnapping, you could be prosecuted. So my advice is, please do not believe in any form of phone calls that will tell you they're calling from a government agency or the consulates of your country, and saying that they want you to transfer some money over to them. They will ask for your personal information. So these are the lights, the red tape that you think, oh, it's something that I shouldn't believe. And do not give out your personal details to a stranger that you don't even know. So with that, I hope that you will not fall prey.
Jessica, my questions to you is, because I think one of the things that when I was thinking is when international students get a phone call and say, oh, you have to pay this sum of money, otherwise this is going to happen. Because I think as a mature person, my first instinct would be saying, give me your number and your company, and then I will verify the information you provide. So,
I wouldn't do that, because
okay,
if the person say, I'm calling from the Chinese consulate,
sure.
what the scammers do is they very cleverly generate a phone number similar to the real number through their computers. So the immigration number that appeared on their phone is exactly the phone number that is our immigration number. You know, sometimes it's 1-digit difference, but it's very similar. And students who've been calling these numbers very often straight away thought, more so I think students got caught is because they feel that how come they know these phone numbers of mine? How come they got my full name? So they thought it must be real. But actually, when you do online shopping or you surf on social media, this information could be obtained, and therefore, and like for example, if you enter lucky draws or if you enter competition, you know, those information could be shared by another. You never know where it goes to. And that's where people will gather your information and give you that cold phone call. All I'm going to repeat is, as soon as it's from the government agency, the consulates, the banks, they do not call you to ask you for your personal details. Definitely not ask you to send money immediately just because of that phone call. As long as you remember this, if you receive such phone calls, just give a phone call to the police and say, hey, I've received this. Is this true? But one thing, before you call the police, may I suggest you go through NetSafe. There is a website called NetSafe. Ivan is going to put it up. Go through that, because a lot of scams have been happening and they recorded it. And it's because of people like you. If you receive a phone call that is strange and you report this, it goes to NetSafe. And then NetSafe will verify this is a scam and they post it. So to alert other people so that people don't fall prey to those kind of scams.
Thank you, Jessica, because I just pull out the website. So there's a net safe here. And when people click into the report online incident, what happened then, it will go on to this page where it actually even have the bullying and harassment,
Yep.
image-based abuse, self-harm, suicide, child sexual abuse, hate speech, scam, privacy, stalking, and violence extremists.
So